Hi, right, today I'm going to show you how to take up a pair of ready-made curtains. It is a bit of a faff because you've got to separate the lining and the material, so this is just a video to show you how to do it. Well, there's a much easier way actually, just buy them ready-made. Anyway, here we go. These curtains here are far too long. If you come in you'll see how much too long because I pinned them up. Now a lot of people might just sew along here, job done, but it will be very bulky and they won't hang as beautifully as if you see these ones here. How beautiful they're hanging now, because they've been taken up separately. So what you have to do, you can come back over here, is you have to take up the lining separately to the curtain. So these are pinned up ready. I know that's the length I want. So now there's two ways of doing it. Either measure what you know you need to go up by, in this case 7 inches, or what I like to do is measure it and also run a pin along where I know the bottom of my curtain will fall. And then once you've done that, you can begin to unpick this here, and you need a stitch unpicker to do that. As you see here, this corner's folded in, so you're going to need first of all to unpick this corner, and then when you've sewn them up, you need to do the opposite again, and then you want to unpick this lining from the curtain. So it's just a case of picking away at it with the stitch unpicker. Okay, so here's our marker here. Now what we could do is that's our bottom of our curtain, and sew them up, but again you're going to get too much bulk, so unfortunately you really do need to cut some of this off and allow yourself about this much of a hem. So I'm going to cut that off now. So there's the bottom of my curtain where I pinned it up. I've cut a bigger hem than the 2 inch that was there because I quite like the 3 inch hem, and allow enough to turn it down, because in a minute what we're going to need to do is sew along here, and then that is the bottom edge of your curtain. I've cut out a little bit in between where I've measured, double checked, triple checked, laid them on the floor and measured them down the length of the curtain, and double checked that what I've cut off the bottom is equal, just to make sure I've not made any silly mistakes. So do check, double check, triple check, because these cost a lot of money and you don't want to get it wrong. But once that's done, you're ready to look at your lining, which now this all needs to be cut off. There's going to be a lot of it, and they double the lining. So when you've got your length, which you just do by folding like this, so it's hanging down, not all the way down to here, just so it covers it beautifully. You now know this is your bottom edge. Now you can iron this most probably, but be very careful. Use a very low heat iron just in case it catches it. This now is my bottom, and now I need to cut all of this off, but allowing for a fold. So to make this easier for you to see, I've folded it the wrong way, so you can now see that this is the bottom of the lining. Now I said to double it, but I've noticed here that they've just got that amount that they've gone up, and then they've just tucked it under that much. Whatever you choose to do probably depends on the fabric and how thick it is. So allow at least 2 inches fold, and then another ½ an inch to fold in, or if you wanted to double it, of course, do it to 4. So I'm now going to cut that off ready. Okay, so when you come to do your lining, it's just basically rule of thumb. Whatever you've folded up on your curtain, you're going to fold up on your lining. And Mo's helping me out here. Thanks, Mo, bringing in the squeaker. So I've cut mine off now. I've cut off the surplus that I don't want. There's my crease. Now I've used an iron to get that crease. This is the bottom of my lining. If you do use an iron, be very careful it's not too hot, because a lot of the materials these days don't like the heat. You don't have to iron it, but it does make it a lot easier. Where you can see the bottom, and then you're going to fold this. This is your raw edge, you don't want that to show. And then that there, then you can iron it, pin it into place, run it along on your sewing machine or by hand if you want to. Right, so there's your lining there, that's been folded up, and then this bit comes down to here. You now need to sew this together. So best way to do that, let's come down here. Make sure you secure the end. and there you have it. Okay, if you zigzag the raw edge now, or overlock it, whatever you want to do, it's just this corner here so it doesn't fray. Find the original crease for the edge of your curtain, and then you need to tuck this underneath, and then you need to catch it here, but be careful that you don't run through and sew the front of the curtain. So you just need a couple of little stitches just to catch it, to hold that in place. So I've caught it there. Be careful, as I say, not to go through to the other side. I'm going to cut this off and then just catch it there. You just need a couple of stitches to catch it, and then that will hold that nicely in place like that. So when you're up at the window, they'll hang lovely. So now you know how to do it. Okay, so thank you for watching for all our videos. Deriton 33.